Hi, boys and girls. Today is Tuesday, and we're going to be reading Author A True Story, Part 1. So, let's get started. You're going to be listening and watching this story, and then you're going to be completing the work on slide 11. So, we're going to review our vocabulary. Talented, having a natural ability or skill. Single means one. Proper, correct or suitable. Excitement, a feeling of being happy about something good. Acceptance, an agreement to make something given or offered. And useful, serving a good or purpose. So today's story is called Author A True Story. And it's really an autobiography. An autobiography tells a story about someone's life, and it's written usually by that person. Okay, an author's purpose, details from the story that give us the overall purpose of what they're trying to tell us. It might be to inform us, it might be to entertain us, it might be a personal narrative, it could be several things. So we'll have to figure that out as we go along today. All right, here we go.
Author, A True Story. Written and illustrated by Helen Lester. A long time ago, there lived a 3-year-old author. Me. I was the best grocery list writer in the world and a huge help to my mother. When I wrote a word, I knew exactly what it said. And the fun part was that I could turn each list upside down and the words said the same thing. I think I made hundreds of these useful lists for my mother, and she never once said, "No, thank you, dear, I have enough." Then I went to school and learned to make what they called real letters. My writing was the prettiest in the class, with straight lines and round lines. It was perfect, and it was perfectly backwards. I didn't just mix up B's and D's. That's easy to do because they look so much alike. My letters started at the wrong, side of the paper and marched across, pretty as could be, and backwards. There's a name for somebody with this problem. I was a mirror writer. My teachers had to hold my work up to a mirror to understand what I had written.
Okay, so author's purpose. The author wrote this passage to inform the reader. And what kind of things so far has the author informed us of? So the first thing is, so far we know that that author is given information about how she learned how to write. She went to school and learned how to make real letters.
Thanks to a lot of help, I was finally able to write in the proper direction. But writing stories was so hard for me. Often I couldn't come up with a single idea, and my stories got stuck in the middle, and I couldn't think of a title, and I had trouble making the changes my teacher wanted me to make, and I lost my pencils, and I wondered why I was doing this, and I got very, very, very frustrated. So I spent a lot of time dreaming about what I wanted to be when I grew up. Since no one from the circus came looking for me, I became a teacher. I learned that teachers do not live in schools, eating only crackers and milk and sleeping under their desks. I also learned that teaching was fun and that children have fantastic imaginations. So my favorite subject to teach was writing. One day a friend said, "You should write a children's book." And I thought, I spent 10 years in 2nd grade, so I know a child from a chicken. Maybe I should.
Okay, so we know that she went to school, learned how to make her letters properly, and then what else are they informing us of? That it was very frustrating and hard to read the stories and hard to come up with ideas. You'd get stuck in the middle and then you weren't used to making changes that the teacher wanted her to make.
I went right home and wrote a book. It was the best book I had ever written. Of course, it was the only book I had ever written. I illustrated it with my nicest drawings and proudly sent it to a publisher. Lucky people, I thought. The lucky people sent it back and said, "No, thank you." That's called a rejection. I decided I'd never write again. Until the next day, when I felt better. I wrote a second book and sent it to a different publisher. The second publisher sent the book back. "No, thank you." I decided I'd never write again. Until the next day, when I felt better. I wrote another book. And another, and another, and another. Practice must have helped each story get a little better, for on my 7th try, no book came back. Just a, "Yes, please." That's called an acceptance. I was beside myself with joy and excitement. I was the first author I had ever met.
All right, so for today's assignment, boys and girls, what caused Helen to become a teacher? And how many times did Helen's books get rejected? You'll have to go back and look at the sides previous to this. And the genre of this story is biography. Genre just means what kind of story is this? And it's an autobiography. An autobiography is a story of a person's life written by that person. So what words in the story show us that this story is an autobiography? What does she refer to when she's talking to herself? There are 2 specific words that she uses quite frequently that tells you it's an autobiography, a story written about someone's life, and it's by that person. All right, bye for now.